everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Tara Arnold, and tonight I'm going to be consciously channeling Ascended Master Saint Germain as he teaches you how to read anyone's energy to find out what their intention is. So if you have somebody in your reality and you're not sure what their intention is, or you're meeting somebody new and you want to find out what their intention is, then this video is for you. He teaches it in a way so that you're not interfering with the person's soul journey and you're not taking their power in any way. And before we begin, I just want to remind everyone that this weekend's our next live group channeling event, and it's all about turning your addictions into empowerment. The Ascended Masters will bring through light code frequencies to transmute our addictions back to love so we can easily let go of them. I'll put the details for the description below for the live event this weekend. I hope to see you there, and I'm going to get started on today's session. So the first thing that Saint Germain is showing me is that there are two types of egos, the inferior fed ego or the superior fed ego. And with the superior fed ego, under the category of that would be narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths. And they have an inherent belief, a belief that's already running in their system when they're born, because they're born with a more superior fed ego, which means they put themselves as more superior to everyone in their belief system. So they have a belief running that nobody will see my truth. So they hide behind that false sense of identity, and they have put it in their blueprint that they don't want anybody to see their truth because they want to maintain this false sense of identity. So their ego has to maintain and keep that false sense of identity intact. And if you saw past that mask, then you would see their truth. So they already put the intention that you won't see it. So therefore, all of us are blocked into seeing that. So if you've ever been tricked by anyone or gaslit or confused or disorientated after leaving someone, you just feel like you're unsure about things, then you've probably come across a superior fed ego. And in order to override their ego to find out what their truth is, there's a few things that must be done before that happens. So the first thing that Saint Germain is showing us in order to override their ego to see their truth is you have to ask their spirit permission. So sit quietly in meditation, you connect your spirit with theirs and ask the question to them and their higher self: do I have your permission to see your truth on a soul level? Do I have your permission to override your ego to see your truth? And you're just going to put that question out there. Now, even if you don't feel an answer, some people will feel it as a yes or a lift in the heart chakra, or they'll feel it as a knowing. If you don't get any answer, that's okay, because when you go to tap into their energy, if you're not getting any information, then you'll know the answer is no. If you're getting a yes from their spirit that you're allowed to override their ego to find out what their intention is, what their truth is, then you'll get a lot of information coming in from your spirit guides, from your higher self, showing you what that person's truth is. So that's the first thing you do. So even if you don't get an answer, or you don't know if you've got an answer, continue on. The second thing is to check in, because do you have any ego attachment to needing something from that person? So you won't be able to see that person's truth if your fantasy of what they're supposed to be in your reality is stronger than your spirit's desire. So if your ego is louder than your spirit in the sense that you need them for something, that you're expecting something from them, or that you're expecting them to play a certain role in your reality, and you have an attachment to that, if you need them to feed your ego or give you love in any way, then your ego is going to want to maintain that fantasy. And if you see their truth, like maybe they're tricking you or lying to you or deceiving you in some way, if you saw that truth, then your fantasy would get shattered, and some people's ego aren't ready to see it. So you have to be ready to see their truth. And I'll give an example of this. If maybe there's a single parent, a mother who has a child, and she is desperately wanting to find a parent for the child and find a spouse for herself. So she might look for on dating apps or go out and begin dating. And she finds and meets somebody, and her expectation is that this person would be perfect husband or perfect spouse and a perfect father for my child. And she trusts them, and they begin to date, and then that man that she's dating ends up abusing her child, and the child comes to her and says, I'm being abused. Or even if the child doesn't come to her, but there's signs of abuse, the mother might not see those signs, or she might not believe the child, because the fantasy of him being the perfect husband or the perfect spouse is louder than her spirit's need to see, or like her conscious expansion from her spirit to see the truth. So you have to let go of the fantasy of what you wanted that person to be in your reality, what you expected them to be, and how you expected them to serve your own ego in order to see them in their truth on a deeper level. So the mother would see the truth when she's ready to see the truth. That's why you'll hear stories that of this happening, and people are like, well, how did the mother not know? Well, they can't see it if they're not ready to see it. The attachments have to be gone before you can see somebody's truth, because then you're ready for it. So we're going to find out by using the 5 senses and receiving messages from our spirit guides and our higher self, is what Saint Germain is showing me, in order to find out what their intention is. So the first thing is you'd sit in meditation, and you're going to check in to your third eye. So if you don't visualize, then you can go by your knowing for this one. But for those of you who do visualize, you're going to ask to see in your third eye what that person's intention is. So what they're going to show you in your third eye is they might bring in a memory from your childhood of somebody else. So they're going to use your life experiences and what you grew up with to show you the intention of that person. So you're telling your spirit guides or your higher self, I want to see this person's intention. The first image that you see in your third eye, or if you don't visualize, the first memory that you have from childhood, if that person in that memory took your power, then you'll know it's a superior fed ego. Or if they gaslit you or tricked you, then you'll know that that person's resonating in that frequency. If it was someone who respected you and gave you kindness and love, then you'll know it's more of an empathic or inferior fed ego. Or if it was somebody that was really overgiving, really altruistic, then you'll know it's that vibration. If it was somebody who humiliated you, you'll know it's that vibration. So just ask to see in your third eye. Don't try to help. You're just going to see what shows up. Show me a memory that is the same vibration as this person. And so whatever shows up is going to be a clue for you on that person's intention, what their intention is with you. The second thing that Saint Germain is bringing in is you're going to feel it. So some of you are empathic. You can feel the energy from spirit. So you're going to feel it in the chakra systems. So what he's showing me is that if you feel the energy, so you put the intention, universe, spirit guides, higher self, show me what this person's intention is based on how I feel in my chakras. If you feel energy in your root chakra, your lowest chakra, if you feel an uncomfortable feeling after you ask that in your root chakra, you'll know that that person's intention is to own you, to maybe stalk you, to consume you, to completely take your power in every way. So if you feel that, you'll know that that's their intention. That's what Spirit's showing you. That's what your higher self is showing you. So that lower chakra would be a superior fed ego wanting to own you and consume you and keep you to serve them, or have you in the reality to serve them. So you'll find that anybody who is sadistic, which means they like to cause harm to others, that would be in that root chakra. So it's complete ownership, and sometimes sadistic psychopaths or narcissists that really want to take your power, like maybe a malignant covert narcissist, and they want ownership over you. So you'd feel it in that root chakra. The next chakra up is your sacral chakra. So if you ask spirit, what is this person's intention, and you feel uncomfortable in your sacral chakra, then you'll know that their intention is still from a superior fed ego, but it might not be sadistic. It may just be that they want to humiliate you or embarrass you, or they're jealous of you or envious of you in order to keep their ego intact, or maybe they believe they're more intelligent than you and they want to prove that to you and make fun of you for something you said, and then that will keep their ego intact if they can keep you inferior. So it's not as malicious, but it is still a superior fed ego. So then you can thank your spirit guide, say thank you for showing me that that person's intention was blocking my sacral chakra, and their intention comes with those emotions or those belief systems that they need to be more important than me or more superior than me. So the first two chakras are from a superior fed ego, and then you'll know their intention is either from a narcissist, a psychopath, or a sociopath. So the third chakra up, if you ask your spirit guides and your higher self, what is this person's intention, and you feel an uncomfortableness in your solar plexus, then you will know that this person might have an inferior fed ego, like an empathic ego, but might be more in their power in the sense that they set boundaries, they give respect, but what their needs serve, he's saying like what they serve first is themselves. They put themselves first. So if they were going to connect with you, there would be some intention from their ego that their needs get met as well, but not with ill intention. This is where most, like Saint Germain showed me, this is where most people resonate. It's like they're here on planet Earth and they're experiencing life in this human costume, and their intention is to always have an experience for themselves on planet Earth. So anything they get into, or like say they sign up for one of your courses or something, then they would be signing up so that they could learn something. Like it's their intention to connect with you and have a relationship with you is so that they would learn something. So there's no ill intention. It's that it's going to meet their needs. Or if it's a love interest, so they might be looking for a life partner, and they would like a list of things in their reality to be in that life partner, like the different ways that you can have companionship. So they would be putting their needs first in order to obtain that. So if you disrespected them, then they might say, well, no, I've set a boundary. I don't want to be disrespected, and so I'm not going to date you, because they are putting their needs first. And this is like an energy of they're content, and they know who they are. Like they feel comfortable with who they are. So it's their intention isn't to harm anyone. Their intention is to have a relationship, but to set boundaries if their needs aren't getting met. And so it's not anything bad or good. It just is. So all of these experiences that we have with people, they just are. Like there's no judgment on it. So the next, because we're all in the ego, so we all have an ego intention of why we're connecting with people or why we have relationships. And the next chakra, if you ask, what is this person's intention, and you feel it in your heart chakra, so you feel something happening in your heart chakra when you ask that question, then you'll know that that person is overgiving, a people pleaser. They allow people to walk all over them, or they are altruistic, like they give so much that they end up harming or hurting themselves. So those are the 4 chakras that you can ask your spirit guides, show me what this person's intention is. And if you feel that frequency in those chakras, then you'll know that that is what their intention is. At the same time that you're feeling it, Saint Germain is showing me that because you have an awareness of it, you will start to transmute that frequency from past lifetimes where you had similar partners or relationships. You will start to transmute that frequency back to love. And so as you're in meditation and you're visualizing this, it might get intense, like you might feel it really intensely. It's because it's being transmuted from dark back to light, fears back to love, and you're releasing it because you're looking at it with no judgment. It just is what it is. This person, if I feel it in the root chakra and their intention is to take my power somehow or to own me or to hurt me in some way, I'm not going to judge it. So make sure you're not judging the intention, and then it will transmute back to love. If you're judging it, it doesn't transmute. So you want to make sure that no matter what you're feeling, what information you're getting, that you're always not judging what's happening. Because if you don't judge it, you surrender to it, and you feel it really intensely, it means that it's transmuting from dark back to light, fears back to love from past lifetimes of that same frequency of all the people that you interacted in other lifetimes with, or from childhood in this lifetime, or adulthood from this lifetime. It's transmuting back to love, like all the judgment you had on it when people hurt you. So, or judgment you had on people who were overgiving or people pleasers. So it's going to be transmuting. So don't get frustrated. He's saying, like, don't get frustrated if you feel it for a little while. It's just like, oh, okay, it's transmuting something. Okay, so those are the first two ways that you'll get information on what that person's intention is. If you don't feel anything in your chakras or see anything in your third eye, then you can muscle test. So I have muscle testing videos that you can learn how to muscle test, and you can connect with your higher self or your spirit guides or their spirit, and you can muscle test their intention. So I will put the links to those videos in my description. I have 4 muscle testing videos. You could also use a pendulum to ask. When you ask with a pendulum or muscle testing, make sure you're connected to the right thing. So you want to be connected to their spirit or their higher self or your spirit guides or your higher self. You don't want to be connected to anyone's ego. So make sure that you're not muscle testing or using a pendulum and asking their ego a question, because then it'll just trick you. So always go to the source. Always go to source energy to ask the questions. So the next way that they'll show you is using all your 5 senses. So your life experiences, you've had experiences in life. Saint Germain showing me, it's like we're going to use your life experiences and your 5 senses to show you what their intention is. So if you're being approached by somebody and you smell maybe mold, and mold in your past has made you sick, then that's showing you this person might make you sick. So the Spirit's giving you a heads up. We're giving you the smell of mold to show you that this person might make you sick. Or if they give you a bad taste in your mouth. So if you taste something really bitter, they're showing you this person is going to give you a bad taste in your mouth. If they give you a smell or a taste, or you hear something, you might hear, like, all of a sudden in the background, there's alarms going off, fire trucks going by, or ambulances, and you're like, what is going on? That's another indication. Like, you just ask, because you have to ask the question. You have to ask Spirit to show you, and then they bring in the answer. So always be asking questions like, what's this person's intention? Show me now, show me more. Keep asking questions, and the universe keeps bringing in answers. If you stop asking questions, the universe stops answering. So using your 5 senses, like, how are you feeling in your body temperature? Or like, do you feel chest pain? Are they putting too much pressure? Or did your blood pressure drop? Are they, like, putting too much pressure on yourself? Are you feeling ill? If you feel sick around somebody, then that might indicate, that it might be a loud message that this person's intention is to make you ill. If you have a memory of getting food poisoning when you're a child, then that might be an indication that this person's going to put poison in your food or poison you somehow with their words or with their actions. So keep asking, what's that mean? What's that question? Every single thing around you is a reflection of where you're vibrating at. So you're going to want to take notice using your 5 senses, your body temperature. Is it, do you get chills when they come around? Do you get overheated? What does that mean to you? So using your life experiences and your education, your upbringing, Spirit will show you memories and feelings in your 5 senses and emotions that you've experienced in your past in order to relate to how this person is in your reality now. They're going to be giving you loud messages. Keep asking, show me more about this person. Because he's saying there's a lot of people that hide their truth, and there's people wondering, like, what's their intention? Like, do they like me? Don't they like me? Did it seem like they were mean to me, but they did it in a covert way? Like, maybe they compliment me and insult me in the same sentence. Like, there's a lot of confusion. So these exercises are gonna give you clarity. He's saying, Saint Germain saying, you're gonna get clarity. You're gonna get more clear. The more you ask, the more clear messages you'll get. Okay, and the next thing to ask is from your inner child. So your inner child knows who he or she or they want to play with. So when you meet somebody new, or if you have somebody in your life that you're hanging out with, that something feels off, just ask your inner child, can you show me? And you go by feeling. Some people can visualize their inner child. Other people feel how the inner child feels. And ask, is this a person you want to play with? Do you want to go hang out with them? Does that feel exciting? Do you get a Christmas morning feeling when they're knocking on your door, or when you see them after work, or when you see them at work? Like, is this person someone that your inner child wants to hang out with? Because your inner child knows their truth, because your inner child's part of your spirit. So your inner child will give you a lot of messages about people. And if your inner child doesn't want to hang out with them, that's a loud and clear message that you're giving your power to them somehow, or they're tricking you somehow, or they're deceiving you somehow. So be really connected to the inner child to get those answers. Like, really spend a lot of time with the inner child, and she'll show you. Invite her to get ready. If you meet somebody new and you're going on a date, invite her to get ready with you. How do you feel? Are you excited about the date? Like, she might be a little bit nervous if she doesn't know the person. So put her in a safe place and just tell her that after the first date to show you if she wants to see them again. So if it's somebody you don't know, it might take, 1 or 2 times before the inner child even feels safe. But then once she feels safe or unsafe, you're going to get loud messages. Like, you're going to know, like, if that unsafe feeling doesn't go away, why is that? Like, why doesn't she want to hang out with that person? So asking the inner child is going to give you a lot of information. If you can visualize your inner child, she'll show you by maybe colors or things she's wearing, or she might give you a gift like you just visualize her in your third eye, and she'll hand you things to show you whether she likes playing with that person or not. So based on your life experiences and what you did in childhood, she's going to show you things that are going to surprise you and shock you. And then you might, like, if you meet somebody new and you ask your inner child, do you want to go play with this person, and she shows you a birthday cake and balloons, then that's a celebration. That means yes. So she'll show you things in your third eye, in your mind's eye, about how she is feeling, and you'll also feel it in your chakra system from the inner child. So if your inner child wants to have a voice with something, you might feel something in your throat chakra. So your inner child needs to speak up or say something about the situation. If you get jaw pain, a lot of times that means that they're mad about something. So just ask, like, are you mad that I'm hanging around that person? Or are you angry about something I said to that person, or something that person said to me, or something that person did? So you'll get a lot of information from the inner child. Okay, so there's one more way that I'm going to share with you that I see and sense people's energy, and you can incorporate this as well. So the way I see it is, if I see an empath, then in my third eye, I'll see a solid chocolate Easter bunny. And if I see a narcissist or sociopath, then I see a chocolate Easter bunny that's hollow. And when I connect with a psychopath, like in person, their energy feels like they're a hollow chocolate Easter bunny. And when I connect with an empath, their energy feels solid to me. So I see it in my third eye, but I also feel it. If I'm connecting with a psychopath that is sadistic, I feel the hollow Easter bunny, but then I also feel like I'm being being given drugs, like I'm almost stoned or sedated. I'll feel a sedated feeling, and then I'll know that their intention is sadistic or malicious. And I also feel their energy feels like when I connect with the consciousness within a psychopath, they feel like void of emotion. So it's just a hollowness I feel. So they still have consciousness. All of us have consciousness. All of us come from that one source energy. It's just, it's like it's turned down. So it's like the radio station to how empathic or how like altruistic somebody is. It's like a radio station. So if they're very giving and empathic from the heart, and always wanting to love and please and be kind and go out of their way for people, I feel it as a lot of emotions turned up really loud. And if it's like a psychopath that is sadistic or void of emotions, it's like their emotions are turned really down low. So I don't feel or hear any emotions in the vibration. And if it's a narcissist that's not sadistic, what I feel is it feels like a ping pong bouncing off me. It feels like they're shooting ping pongs at my auric field, and it's bouncing off my auric field. So that's another way that Spirit can show you. So you can just ask Spirit, can you show me the same way about the chocolate Easter bunny and the turning up and down of emotions, so that I can read somebody's energy a little bit deeper. And you can also use all of your own intuition. So if you're having something else show up, then go with that. Like, always go with your intuition of what Spirit's showing you, because they're going to base it on your life experiences and your education and your upbringing and your past lifetimes. They're going to show you information based on where you're vibrating at and what you resonate with, because that's how you'll find out what your truth is. Is that true to me? Is that how my spirit guides are going to give me messages? Is that how my higher self's going to give me messages? Okay, so I'm going to do a part 2 on this video. And in part 2, I'm going to be teaching on what to do if somebody attacks you in public, and also how to do spiritual alchemy to balance the energy between you and somebody who attacks you, in order to create more harmony in your relationships or in your reality with them. So that'll be a part 2, so check back next week, and thanks for joining us. And whoever's coming to the live event, I'm excited to see you there. We'll see you on Saturday. Have a great night.